Up next, we have Samantha Garrard. Samantha is from Pekin, in Illinois. Her career goals are to do academic research in neuropsychology. And her favorite TED Talk is The Birth of a Word by Deb Roy.
About education, there are three main things that come to our minds. The first one being that there is a lot wrong with it. Secondly, that there's going to be some quick magical fix. And lastly, that once we fix it, we'll never have to worry about it again. This desperately needs to change. When we think about how there's a lot wrong with our education system, we notice that most of these problems arise when we compare it to the new generation of students coming in. I don't learn the same way that my parents did, and my children certainly won't learn the same way that I did. So our solution is not going to be an easy one. The sooner that we accept that the solution isn't going to be easy, the better we'll be able to rise to the occasion of fixing it, and the less harsh the failures in fixing it will seem, because we know we've seen many. We also need to accept that education will be changing forever. It's never going to end. It's going to be something that I call perpetual reform. It welcomes change, it gives active feedback between students and teachers, and it goes beyond the classroom, because we all know that we do a majority of our learning outside of the classroom, and then we bring that back into the classroom. It's a new type of dynamic future, a new dynamic environment for our dynamic children. As somebody who moved more than 37 times in less than 12 years, I've been in and out of every different kind of school system there has been. I've been to wealthy schools, I've been to poor schools, I've been to tutoring programs outside of school, both things that were paid for and things that were free. I was a girl without a narrative. The teachers didn't quite know what to do with me, or what to think of me, or what I was going to do later. And that led me to believe and to realize that you can't blame an institution. You can't expect the institution to be able to do every bit of education that there is to be done, because there's so much that happens outside of the school that makes students not focus quite as much as they should. So one of our main ways that we know that our current education reform is not working is the Common Core. We try to give everyone the same education all across the board, when that's greatly disappointing, because what we should be doing is trying to give everyone the best education, because that's what we owe them, and that's what we owe our future, is the best, not the same. One day after a storm, there's a beach littered with starfish, and there's an old man walking by as a young girl is exuberantly tossing these starfish back into the ocean. And he thinks to himself for a moment, why is she even doing this? He approaches the girl and he asks her, you know you're not saving enough of them to make a difference, so why do you keep trying? And she replies by kneeling down, grabbing another starfish, and flinging it back into the ocean, by telling him that she made a difference without him. We know that there's a lot of alternative methods to schooling, and a few of the things that do make a difference are private schools, because they have a lot more funding. You have tuition. Of course, they're very expensive, so the teachers, they have a little bit more freedom. There's a broader curriculum. The students have a little bit more to say when it comes to the curriculum, but not everyone can afford that. There's also homeschooling methods where you can try to teach your children on your own. You can create a personal environment for them, and you can tailor it to what they need, but not everyone can afford that either. There's other things that many communities offer. I take part in one of them. It's a program called Good Guides, and it goes through Goodwill Industries. It's entirely free, it's nonprofit. We basically just take some time out of our day. We get paired with particular youths in the community, and we kind of help them with their schoolwork, and not just with their schoolwork, but with their life outside of school, and how to integrate those two things into one. So what I'm trying to make here, the point is that there's a different way that we can think about education reform. It's not so much about reforming the reform or reforming the institution, more or less just changing our approach. coming at it from a different angle, understanding that a lot of what happens outside of schools. It happens in our everyday lives. It happens at home, it happens with our family, it happens with our friends. And these are things that we carry with us throughout our lives. We bring them back into the classroom. We never stop being students, and we never stop being teachers. And it's just the small victories that bring us closer to fulfilling the solution. Because after all, an ocean is nothing more than a multitude of drops. It's the small victories, it's how we perceive things that really brings about the true change.